The domestic headquarters, the Fortune 500, is hemorrhaging talent. Not to competitors, not to startups, to living rooms. The global consulting firms call it the Great Resignation. The economists call it a labor market correction. But if you look at the data without the corporate lens, you see something else entirely. You see the largest wealth transfer in modern history, not of money, but of time sovereignty. And the women who are winning, they're not hustling. They're not grinding. They're arguing. By the end of this video, you will understand why the home is not a fallback position. It is the most defensible competitive advantage in the modern economy, and you will learn the exact mechanism by which administrative work, the invisible labor you've been told, doesn't count, converts into equity. Not metaphorical equity. Actual, transferable, compounding equity. Let's begin. The obsolescence of the glass tower. Here is what they don't tell you in the corporate handbook. The traditional employment model was designed for a world that no longer exists. It was built for an economy where presence equaled productivity, where face time equaled trust, where the commute was the price of admission to economic participation. But economic data suggests that model is collapsing under its own inefficiencies. The average corporate employee spends 17 hours per week in meetings that produce no measurable output. They spend another 9 hours navigating office politics, commuting, and managing the cognitive load of being on in a public space. That's 26 hours of pure friction. You, at home, have none of that. Zero commute, zero performative collaboration, zero energy spent managing your facial expressions in a conference room while someone presents a slide deck that should have been an email. This is not a limitation. This is an unfair economic advantage. And yet, the cultural narrative tells you the opposite. It tells you that if you're not in the building, you're not in the game. That staying home is a sacrifice, a concession, a temporary deviation from your real career. Let me reframe that for you. When a private equity firm acquires a company, the first thing they do is eliminate inefficiencies. They cut the fat, they streamline operations, they remove every point of friction between the decision and the execution. You have done the same thing. You have eliminated the commute, the office politics, the mandatory visibility, labor. You have verticalized your operation. And now, you are sitting on the most valuable resource in the modern economy, uninterrupted cognitive bandwidth. The invisible balance sheet here is the truth about home admin work that no one is teaching. It is not lowly labor. It is infrastructure management. You are not just organizing the household. You are operating a small to medium-sized enterprise with multiple stakeholders, competing priorities, and zero margin for error. Think about what you actually do. You manage procurement. You negotiate with vendors. You oversee logistics. You allocate capital. You anticipate risks. You solve problems in real time with incomplete information. You are a coup. The only difference between you and the coup of a mid-sized company is that your org chart includes pediatricians and school principals instead of department heads. But the skill set, identical. Sociological shifts indicate that the economy is beginning to recognize this. The rise of the creator economy, the remote work revolution, the explosion of micro-entrepreneurship, these are all symptoms of the same trend. The market is rewarding people who can operate autonomously. And you have been training for this your entire adult life. Every time you managed a family calendar, you were building project management expertise. Every time you researched the best school, the best pediatrician, the best insurance plan, you were conducting competitive analysis. Every time you de-escalated a tantrum, mediated a sibling conflict, or convinced a toddler to eat vegetables, you were developing negotiation and emotional intelligence. These are not soft skills. These are executive competencies. And they are the exact competencies that the AI revolution cannot replicate. The mechanism, SOFT power, as strategic leverage. The world calls it emotional labor. We call it relational capital. And it is the most undervalued asset class in the modern economy. Here is why. Artificial intelligence is now better than humans at most cognitive tasks. It can write code, analyze data, generate reports, even create art. But it cannot do the thing you do every single day without thinking about it. It cannot read a room. It cannot sense when someone is lying. It cannot intuit what a client actually needs versus what they say they need. It cannot build trust, and trust is the only moat that matters now. Economic research suggests that in high-stakes industrial finance, real estate, consulting, healthcare, the highest earners are not the ones with the best technical skills. They are the ones with the best relational intelligence. They are the ones who can make a stranger feel understood in 60 seconds. They are the ones who can synthesize chaos into clarity. They are the ones who can hold space for complexity without flinching. This is what you have been doing for free. And now, we are going to teach you how to monetize it. Because the mechanism is simple. Relational capital plus structural flexibility equals asymmetric earning power. Let me explain. Most people in traditional jobs are trading time for money. 1 hour of work equals 1 unit of compensation. The model is linear. You, at home, are not bound by that model. You can take a consulting call while your child naps. You can write a proposal before anyone else in the house wakes up. You can close a deal in the 15-minute window between school drop-off and the grocery run. Your time is non-linear, and that means your earning potential is non-linear. The women who understand this are not looking for jobs. They are building portfolios. They are offering services that require deep expertise but low overhead. Consulting, coaching, fractional executive work, strategic advising. They are leveraging their relational capital to command premium fees. And they are doing it from the same kitchen table where they used to feel invisible. The infrastructure upgrade. The sovereignty signal. Now let me tell you about the tool that changed everything for me. I use noise-canceling headphones. Not for the noise cancellation, though that helps. I use them as a boundary device. Here is what I mean. When I put them on, I am signaling to everyone in my household and to my own nervous system that I am no longer in domestic mode. I am in operator mode. You wouldn't run a Fortune 500 company from a desk covered in yesterday's mail and stray Legos. So why would you run your economic life that way? The mistake most women make is thinking that the home is inherently chaotic, and that chaos is the cost of being home. But chaos is not a condition of the home. It is a condition of underinvested infrastructure. You need to treat your workspace the way a private equity firm treats a portfolio company. Capital expenditure is not an indulgence. It is a strategic necessity. For me, that meant investing in 3 things. 1. A dedicated workspace. Not the kitchen table, not the couch. A single surface that exists only for work, even if it's just a corner of a room. The brain needs architectural separation. 2. Acoustic sovereignty. Noise-canceling headphones. I bought the expensive ones because the signal they send to my children, to my brain, to my clients is that when I am wearing them, I am not available for interruption. I am in session. 3. Analog infrastructure. A high-quality journal, linen-bound, not a spiral notebook, because the tools you use shape how seriously you take yourself. If your calendar lives on a post-it note, your brain will treat your time like a post-it note. These are not luxuries. They are the table stakes of self-respect, and self-respect is the foundation of pricing power. Because here is the truth. If you don't believe your time is valuable, no one else will either. But the moment you start treating your workspace like a boardroom, your clients will too. The moment you stop apologizing for the noise in the background and start owning your environment, your rates go up. Not because you changed what you offer, because you changed how you frame it. The Dynasty Vision. From income to legacy. Let me tell you what this is actually about. That is not about making money, it is about building a dynasty. The women who win in this economy are not optimizing for the next paycheck, they are optimizing for the next decade. They are asking different questions. Not how do I make money while my kids are in school, but how do I build a revenue model that compounds while I sleep? Not how do I fit work into my life, but how do I design a life where my work and my family are not competing forces, but reinforcing assets? This is the shift. You are not looking for a job, you are building an operating system. And the reason you are building it at home is not because you couldn't do it anywhere else. It is because the home is where the highest leverage relationships live. Your children are watching you. They are learning what agency looks like, what autonomy looks like, what it looks like to create value on your own terms. They are learning that power does not require permission, that wealth does not require a boss, that sovereignty is a choice. This is what the corporate model could never offer you. The ability to build your empire in the same space where you are raising the people who will inherit it. The noise in the background is not a distraction, it is the reason for the empire. The closing thesis here is what you need to understand. The economy is restructuring itself around people who can operate with high autonomy, low overhead, and deep relational intelligence. You are not staying home. You are positioning yourself at the center of the most significant economic shift of the last 50 years. The women who see this early are the ones who will own the next decade. The ones who treat their homes not as retreats, but as headquarters. The ones who understand that the future of work is not about climbing a ladder someone else built. It is about architecting a life where your income, your identity, and your legacy are fully integrated. You do not need permission to begin. You only need clarity. And now, you have it. Disclaimer. This content is for educational and informational purposes only and does not replace consultation with a professional. Always consult a qualified professional for any questions related to finance or business. Tell us where you are building your empire from. See you in the next video.